the only objective to give you these lessons on personality, to update you with the latest with the vocabulary, so that you can know how to identify yourself and how to speak about yourself. So today we'd like to speak to Karan Dubey. Karan, hello.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you please tell us about the internship and what did you learn? Tell the others so that people can gain some insight about what really happened over there. Yes, Karan.
यस मैम एक्चुअली वहाँ पे मैम हम लोग का पहले इंटरव्यू हुआ और उसके बाद इंटरव्यू होने के बाद 14 तारीख को इंटरव्यू हुआ और 16 तारीख को हम लोग को ज्वाइनिंग हायरिंग लेटर आया और उसके बाद मैंने
Okay,
ज्वाइन किया
Karan.
और वहाँ
What did they
यस मैम
ask you in an interview? क्या पूछा उन लोगों ने आपके इंटरव्यू में?
मैम वो पहले वो पूछे कि आप लोग है कहाँ से, तो हम लोग बताया सीमेज से है और आप लोग क्यों इंटर्नशिप करना चाहते हैं, तो मैम ये भी बताया कि हम लोग के सेमेस्टर एग्जामिनेशन में 15 दिनों की ये 2 सप्ताह का इंटर्नशिप ये दिया हुआ है। इसी कारण हम लोग को इंटर्नशिप करना है और आगे मतलब इंटर्नशिप करने के मतलब पहले लर्निंग लेने के बाद आगे जॉब में इस चीज को ये करेंगे मैम।
So, Karan, what was the name of this company
मैम लील
you
मार्ट।
were interning?
लील मार्ट।
Yes?
लील मार्ट इंडिया प्राइवेट लिमिटेड मैम।
All right. So,
यस
what
मैम।
was your profile over there? What was the job profile?
मैम सेल्स एंड मार्केटिंग मैम।
Okay. How many weeks were you there?
मैम 4 वीक्स।
Okay, you were almost for a month over there. In
यस
this 1 month, this 4 weeks,
यस मैम।
4 weeks of time, what did you learn, Karan?
मैम टाइम मैनेजमेंट मैम, टाइम एकदम जैसे कि सेल्स का टाइम मैनेजमेंट एकदम पक्का होना चाहिए कि अगर किसी कस्टमर से अगर डील कर रहे हैं और जैसे कि मैं मतलब वो मतलब इस पैंडेमिक में रेडी भी नहीं हो, लेकिन उनको रेडी कैसे करना है कि
Convince.
मान यस मैम कन्वेंस, ये मैंने सीखा वहां से कि मतलब एक्चुअली में उनको रेडी कर ही देना है, आज नहीं कल नहीं 3 दिन बाद जरूर वो रेडी होंगे।
तो किसी को कन्विंस करने में
यस
what
मैम।
are the skills required if you want to convince some, if you want to convince me about anything? What is the most important thing?
सपोज मैम मैम आपका जैसे रिटेलिंग शॉप है, ठीक है, एंड मैम जैसे आप कन्विंस करना है कि मैं मतलब लील मार्ट कंपनी से हूँ लेकिन आप ऑलरेडी रजिस्टर्ड हैं जस्ट डायल में, ठीक है, और मैम आपको कन्विंस कर आप मतलब बताए अपने कंपनी के प्रोफाइल के बारे में, लेकिन आप स्टिल कह रही हैं कि नहीं मैं जस्ट डायल में ऑलरेडी रजिस्टर्ड हूँ, लेकिन मैम हमारे तरफ से ये कहा जा रहा है कि अभी यहाँ पे फ्री लिस्टिंग है एंड क्या कहते हैं आपका एक प्लेटफॉर्म वो पेड अलग है और यहाँ से फ्री क्या कहते हैं फ्री लिस्टिंग है और ये आपका दूसरा प्लेटफॉर्म पे भी आपका शॉप आ जाएगा और प्लस यहाँ से भी कस्टमर बहुत सारे व्यू कर सकते हैं आपके जो आसपास होंगे। सो मैम
So,
मतलब
and,
दूसरा प्लेटफॉर्म भी आपको आपका जनरेट हो जाएगा मैम इससे।
all right.
यस
So,
मैम।
in convincing, the most important thing is persuasive power. How you can persuade people, how you can convince people, how you can make an impact. For that,
यस
you
मैम।
have to be, your communication should be strong. Any kind of weakness should not be there.
यस मैम।
So, do you see yourself a better version of what you were 1 month earlier?
यस मैम।
So, you feel confident. You look confident.
यस
Are you
मैम।
outside? आप अपने घर के बाहर हो क्या?
यस मैम, बस घर ही जा रहे हैं मैम तो।
अच्छा, you on your way home. आप
यस
इंटर्नशिप के
मैम।
बाद घर जा रहे हो?
नो मैम, एक्चुअली मैं बाहर दवा लेने निकला था और अब घर जा रहा हूँ।
All right.
5 बजे पहुंच जाऊंगा। यस मैम।
Okay then. Nice, Karan. Well, nice talking to you today. And
थैंक यू मैम।
something which you can share, always share with the others. Knowledge shared is knowledge gained. The more
Yes, ma'am.
you share, the more you will gain knowledge. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Karan.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
So, is there anybody else who is back from internship? Has anybody interned or is interning? Like we spoke to Devanshi. She is doing good. She looks very confident, and of course, moving up the ladder. So, anybody else has anything to share with the other students who regularly watching your YouTube live, because people are there from the first semester. They always bank on the seniors, what they are doing, how they are answering questions. So what is it like? When will we become like them? And when can we start talking like them? So is there anything else you would like to share? Any knowledge which can motivate the others? Anybody? I see all, now I'm seeing all your um, cameras are switched on, but except for Toshi and Karan. So, what I believe, Karan has been participating in almost all the classes, like receptive, participative. How people improve. See, I saw him in the first semester, second semester we met him, and I had taken some classes. Then he was very shy, a shy kind of a boy, and he would not talk much, would not ask much questions. But yes, look at him today. Today he's turned out to be talking, confident. Well, uh, when you are confident, you certainly will start learning. In the last class, there were some glitches, so we could not. A lot of students could not join again, but then a few people were there who rejoined. So we were talking about a personality, types of personality. We had already discussed in layman's language the thinker, the dreamer, the partner, and the artist personality. So this was just to introduce you to what these personality types, what what is what is the thinker type, what is the dreamer type, what is the partner type, and what is the artist kind of personality. And now we had moved on to speaking technically, like personality types. We call it the star personality. Can anyone tell me what is STAR stand for? What does STA and R stand for? Though we had not completed it, this is going to take a few more classes, like 2 3 more classes, before we'll conclude with the star personality. And then you'll seriously be identifying what my personality type is, what are my strengths, what are my weaknesses, how will I be when I'm on the driving seat, or a good manager when I'm in a commanding position, what do I want from the others, and when I am the subordinate, how will I, what are the things in me, what are my talents, what are my talents to be proud of, and what are my weaknesses, the drawbacks, and what needs to be worked upon. Like separately, we are going to deal with these 4 types of personality types. Can anyone tell me who was in the class in the last class? What does S stand for?
On structure.
Structural. How is this type of person of this category? Structure. What is important to them? Structure, building,
Re-
organization, the structure, the infrastructure. The structure must be sound, must be good. Did I explain? Of course. Um, what do you mean by the structural personality? All right, we'll explain this. What does the T stand for?
Technical.
Technical, the analytical type, the thinker type. Structure, the dreamer, people who dream. Technical type, those who are very much into thinking, analyzing. The technical people. What does the A stand for?
Action.
Action oriented. They believe in action. And what triggers somebody to act? There's some hormones which start secreting, and then you become active. So these people love this hormone. What was the hormone we talked about? This hormone, which is very important, which triggers action in a human body. What is the word, Toshi? You were there in the class?
Yes, ma'am.
What was the hormone? What is the name of that hormone that triggers people into action? The A stands for the action oriented, people who are the partner kind of a personality. Triggering into action. They are always action prone, action oriented. And there was one sentence called sentence like they love the adrenaline. This was the hormone, and this hormone triggers people to act. The secretion of some hormones triggers, and then suddenly you get up and you start doing something. For example, whatever, to make a presentation, to start talking, to start speaking, the action oriented. And what does the R stand for? STA. And what does the R stand for? Did we discuss the
Rela-
R?
Relationship.
Relationship. They are all into some kind or the other, focused, focused on relationship. So yeah, let me deal this again and give you a layout. So Toshi, people who were there in the class, we just discussed two. We discussed the technical, and we discussed the structural personality, and the technical personality. I'm going to do this again because this requires a few classes, and most of the people were not there in the last class. So I'm sharing the screen with you. The four personality types. Let us discuss the structural type. The structural, they're possessive, they have the leadership skills. And this type of personality needs clarity and organization. They need clarity. They are they bank upon things being clear, and they want an organization, a structure. Any structure is important to them, whatever it is. The T stands for the technical or the analytical personality. So the structural is a possessive. The technical is analytical, very thinking about the pros and the cons. This type of personality loves facts, and they love to solve problems. A action oriented, and they are the action oriented people who are the expressive, the artistic. So if you have found yourself into be under the artist, then you are expressive, you are artistic. This type of personality loves adrenaline, hitting goals, and making history. It means the hormone triggers for you inside you, and then you start writing, you start expressing, you start thinking, you start solving problems. You, they think of hitting goals. When I'm saying the phrase hitting goals, they love to hit goals. It means they want to make history, to achieve something. If you have hit the goal, like let us talk about Karan Dubey. He was an intern, and then he has hit the goal. It means he has come out with some key points. He's done it, and they love to make history. It means they want to be remembered. The artistic, the action oriented. If you're a painter, or if you're a dancer, or if you are an anything which requires artistic, if you're a writer, they want to make history. Like they want to be remembered. So if I say, yeah, history is in the making, like writing success stories, history in the making, it means you're making history. A lot of students have. They've been selected in so many companies like Wipro and TCS and whatnot, and they are making history. They're working in India, they're working abroad also. So these people who come from small towns, so when we interview them, when they send us their testimonials, they say, at first when we came here, we did not even know how to stand in front of anyone, and then they wanted to make it big, but that was a far cry. That was a distant dream. They thought they will never be able to do it. Coming from small towns, and now and then three years down the line, and they have made history. They have proved their worth. They have proved that yes, hard work definitely pays. So, what is the next person with who are action oriented or who are expressive and artistic? They do everything with style. They put in something of their creativity in whatever they do, whether they are arranging flowers, whether they are laying out tables or making a presentation. How is it that when you are given a topic, some people emerge as winners? For some people it's now or never, and I am going to get the first prize, and they do the same topic, the same content, but how is it some people make their mark? Because they want to be creative, they do things differently, and that makes all the difference, right? So these people are action oriented, the artistic type. They love this hormone which triggers them to into action. Like I remember my mother, who was the professor in psychology in Magad University. She was also a renowned writer, an ace writer, and sometimes we used to talk to her about a lot of things, and she was very good at communications. She used to read stories in the All India Radio. She used to write stories for the leading Hindi daily, but she was also a professor in psychology. So she was action oriented, an artist. So one day she revealed. So when I asked her, how do you get the time? Like I, as a reporter, I have always been fond of asking questions. Like you know me from the very beginning. I keep asking questions and interviewing students in class also. So, so I asked my mother, how do you get the time? You are a professor. We hear your stories in the radio, published in the leading Hindi dailies. in magazines, reading magazines. So she said, simple, like, I do not know how it happens, but everything happens. And she told me she gets up at 4 o'clock in the morning. She gets up in the wee hours, and then she starts writing. So the time, the uh, getting up at 4 o'clock forces you to get up, because this gland, this adrenaline gland, will not let you stop. It will trigger inside you. Sometimes it happens with me also. I get up in the middle of the night. If an idea hits upon me, and if I want to write something, time doesn't matter. For me, time has never mattered. So I get up sometimes at 2 or 3 when something comes in my mind, and I must put it down. So what happens is that this adrenaline gland, this starts secreting in your, this starts, this is the hormone that forces you to, that will not stop, that will not let you stay calm and cool. It will guide you to your goal. So maybe it is hereditary or something, but this is in me also. If something happens, if I want to write something, or if there's a project in my mind that I have to complete this project. Now, a person, an artistic will not, cannot handle pressure, cannot work under pressure. If you'll ask me, do this right now, send a one liner right now for some ad, for give me one liner, one word for this ad. So I'm creating an ad, so write out one thing. So if this gland doesn't, if this does not secrete, the action is hampered. So it happens, it's, that is why people say artists are very moody. No, they are not moody. They are so much dependent on this adrenaline glands, this hormone. Suddenly, if you say, get up and start singing a song, you cannot do it. Sometimes you see a weird, a very scary dream. It happens with me most of the time. That I am with a lot of people in a mahfil or someone, or some kind, a gathering at CIMAGE, or I always see faces of people working at CIMAGE, and then people asking me to, okay, now it's time for Sanjana ma'am to please sing a song, and then the dream goes on and on and on. I'm thinking one song after the other, and I'm not able to perform nothing. And when I get up, I don't feel good. Like, I've tried and I'm not able to perform. Why this happens? Because even in the dream, when this is not triggering, action is hampered. So the artists, don't say people are moody. They are dependent on this adrenaline glands. They do not see whether it's day or night, whatever it is. They reach out for their pen and paper, or persons who are singing. The best time is at night. Whenever it hits you, you listen to a song, you learn, you'll write some poetry, anything. So they love making history. They love performing. They love making history, and they love to achieve goals. So if you're under this action oriented, you are expressive, you're artistic, and in the later classes we'll see what are the drawbacks with them, what are the features which they bank upon, they count upon, and how are they an action oriented boss, if I may say, a person in the driving seat, the person who drives the organization. If the person is action oriented, what are the problems, what are the good points about him, and what are the features which he needs to work on? What are his talents? What does he expect? How does he react? So, and the last is R is the partner personality, which we already discussed. The relationships, they are amiable, they are friendly, like all anything for a friend. Even if they are home after long hectic work, they are tired, and if their friends call up, we are coming. Okay, where does the fatigue go? Nobody knows. Everything, anything for you, friend. So these people are very much into the R is for relationships, group work, group harmony. I am because we are. I am nothing all by myself. I am known for the groups that I keep. You must have heard the proverb, birds of a feather flock together. Birds always come in groups. Have you ever seen the V of the bird? Have you ever seen birds flying in the sky? Have you ever seen the V? Think about it. So the relationships, they are amiable. Amiable, technical term for your friendly. And if you're in your interview, and if you're saying, okay, describe yourself, like one of the questions which I have given you in your interview is describe yourself. And sometimes people come out with students come out with different story. They again start again. My name, my hometown. No, no, no. That already is done. So describe yourself in a line. So one of the HRs in some other company asked me to say something about yourself. So I just described myself in a line that I am a people person. It means group is important to me. Group harmony is important to me. Being understood is important to me. Understanding is important to me. Getting across to the other person is important to me. Feelings important to me. So these people of such kind are amiable, they are friendly, they are best when they are in a group. So often I say, like people say, you are very quiet sometimes, you don't talk. Imagine people in my family. So I keep quiet. Why I keep quiet is because I observe, I listen, I see, I study people, I study groups. But then I told someone, if you want to see me in my class. Sometimes I go on and on and on. So it's a never ending story with me. So relation R for relationships. Amiable. I am friendly. I am amiable. Group harmony is important to me. Working in a team becomes a dream. So this type of personality loves people and being a part of something special. So this was the star. I bet you must have known whether you fall into the S, T, A, or the R. Dealing again with the in detail about the structural personality. Some words will be there. You take down the words. The technicality of these classes to support you with the words which can be helpful to you. So the structural personality. What is important to them? The first word is stability. Like your students of management. Stability, structure, organization. Duty predictability. Duty is important to them. Predictability is important to them. So when I think of the structural personality, any person who starts with the startup, the main person in the organization, they fall into the structural group. The people who fall under this group, what is important to them? Stability. They will not talk about I'll do this now and then I'll do something else after some time. And for 3 years, this is for short-term plan, and then I'll do something else. They are stable. They believe in stability. They believe in duty. Duty is important to them. Predictability is important to them. Can anyone explain what is predictability? They predict something. Students of management should know the term predictability. What is it? Saloni, what is predictability? Like you see something, you plan something.
इसको forecast कर सकते हैं ना?
हाँ यस कैतोशी क्या बोल रहे हो?
इसको forecast कर सकते हैं.
That is why I told you this word should not. It should ring a bell. Yes, predictability. We have done that in our core subjects. That is important to them. Credentials. And what do you mean by credentials? What is credential? Which is important to them? And why should it be important? Yes, what is credential?
Some credential which is something important.
Like when you walk in for the interview, people ask you, okay, come with your resume, come with your credentials, come with your like your complete story, credentials. Right? Responsibility is important to them. Titles, the larger picture. The title is important. Like what are you talking about? What are you working on? What project is working on? Titles. Like I asked Karan, which was the company you were interning at? It's not that it makes sense. It makes sense. Persons who are in the structural personality will always ask for titles. Structure is important to them, and the trustworthiness. Means this is important for I think almost all the personality types, but then for the structural, trustworthiness is important to them. For them to be trusted, or for them to be trusting others. And as they're possessive, belongingness is important to them. This is my company, this is my project, and it has to go right. This is my plan, nothing should go wrong. This is my predictions. This is my duty, my stability. I do not care if people are not stable, but I am going to be stable. So they are persons with they are possessive, belongingness, tradition is important to them, rules, ownership. So a lot of words are there to describe the person with the, not describe the person, but what is important to the person with this structural personality. Now, what are their talents? Their talents lie in providing, in giving, in furnishing all the terms which you already are quite aware of. Providing, managing, planning, organizing, preserving. What do you mean by preserving? And how does it fit in managing, planning, organizing, preserving? It means whatever it is, it should be preserved. Nothing should be left out. Whatever it should be preserved. They are talented, they love to provide, they love to manage, they love to plan, they love to organize, they are capable of preserving they are capable of logistics, they're talented. The talents lie in commitment, firmness, strict, they're firm, they're strict, they're sequential, they bank on their thinking, the thought process in sequential thinking. Not only that, they are talented and they can plan and they can implement. They have the talents of taking responsibility, and they go down to details. They never miss out on anything. So people who bank on detailing everything, right from the A to the Z, everything. Like you must have heard about this Rahul Bajaj when he said, "I know every brick in my company." It means he was knowing, he was aware of everything, whatever was happening. So he very proudly says, "I know every brick in my organization." And why he did that? How he did that? Because he chose to live very close to his office. So this is their tagline. They use the past to guide them into the future. A very promoting line. Like people say, history makes you wise. History makes you wise. So they use the past. They're so highly talented that they are always learning. This 24 by 7 learning process is going on. So to move ahead, they look back. So the tagline for them is, I use the past to guide me into the future. Anybody in the class feel that they can use these things and they are under the structural personality? Anybody in the class? How many of you look back for future achievements? How many of you can learn, or how many of you learn from your mistakes? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Who is this? Yes, ma'am?
I'm Shubhangi.
Shubhangi. So you think this fits you, that I can call myself to be the structural personality.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, exactly. I can learn my
Right.
mistake.
Well, you need to uh, study this in details.
Yes,
This is just an introduction, and later we'll discuss about what are the how are these persons as at the top. How are these persons when they are subordinates? What are their weaknesses? What are their drawbacks? What are the skills they need to work upon? Once I am done with the lesson, I will definitely going to share this with you, and this is going to be your reference for life, right? So I guess the session I need to close the session now. Time is up. When you start thinking, this is something really serious. Like looking back to perform. These people learn from their mistakes. Right?